We're swinging now past stored insulation and so forth to the south end of the field house. Eventually there will be 6 tennis courts and 4 basketball courts in this area. We're looking past Workman toward what will become the main basketball floor. The scoreboard there behind the Workman will be hoisted up on the scaffolding to the center of the playing court. The field house will be more than just a physical education facility. We hope that the community will make use of it as well. Looking now north toward what will become the permanent bleacher areas. The bleachers are not in place, but when they are in place, we'll seat 2,000 on the permanent bleachers, plus another 2,400 or so on portable bleachers. We're looking past the kitchen area toward the door on the south end that will allow the community or other people to move things in. Now we're in the hallway. This is the reason we had to begin our tour here, is the doors were blocked. Looking out into the unloading area of the parking lot. Most of the students will come to the school from this area, the auditorium in the background, and we'll be looking down into the open area around the hub of the school, the library. As we move into the area, you get the feeling of openness that is a part of the school design. The classrooms overhead, the looking into the commons adjacent to the library. It's one of the 4 commons. Workman is finishing a door. Overhead, the teacher offices, lending themselves readily to the feeling of openness, and yet providing a informal kind of supervision down the south hallway, past the lockers, into one of the 2 lecture areas. This lecture area is located in the science complex, but other areas of the program will use it. The math people, the social science people will use it. The furniture is not in place. It's on order and will be in place at the time the school opens. The demonstration desk at the front and the sound treatment. Now we're moving into a resource area of the science complex. It includes not only spots for individual study. This is the place where carrels will be moved in. The space dividers break the openness to the lab area that is a part of the resource center. Swinging quickly through this area into the preparation area on the right. You'll notice the teachers' offices. The teachers' offices are always located in the area of the particular subject area that they're responsible for, so that students and teachers are always kept in a proximity. Looking now again from the prep area to the lecture area, teachers will prepare their demonstrations, move down these steps into the lecture area for the purpose of presenting ideas that would be best presented to a large group. The tiered lecture hall, the projection booth in the background, and again the sound treatment, the demonstration desk, the chalkboard, and the other. Now we're leaving the lecture area again up the steps through the preparation area and to the lab area that is on the south side of the science complex. The lab is designed as a multi-purpose lab so that physics, chemistry, and biology can be taught. The students can use these areas. We'll be looking from the lab through the glass on the east end into the library area. We're picking up the tour now from the hall and again down the south area to the south side of the library. This area will eventually accommodate the expansion of the facility. The second of the four commons area. Each of these commons areas will accommodate about 45 students when the furniture is moved into place. Again, the teacher's office is immediately above the commons areas. We'll move through the commons areas into the library. There's an entranceway to our left, the stairs to our left, and we'll look briefly at these areas now and then move through the entrance on our right into the center of the library, and then move to our right further into a classroom complex. The classroom complex is designed for a complete learning phase. The classroom parts of the program, the committee or small group kinds of work, seminar work, and the individual kind of work that's necessary for such learning as may be necessary in the social studies and English areas. The space dividers break up the openness, and carrels and other student furniture is yet to come. Now we're looking out into the main library area. The shelving pretty well is in place, but the charge desk and student furniture is yet to be brought into the school. Some of it is stored in the field house. Swinging back across the library center toward the audiovisual and library offices. To the right of the offices is one of the rooms that will be used for special education. We're looking now into the office, past some storage space to the workspace. To the left, we see the desks that the office will provide, storage, more storage toward the nerve center and the workspace. These areas are necessary so that the various media, both printed material and tape material, can be prepared. This particular panel will provide for audio transmission to the various 50-some stations plus carrels when we're completely equipped. This is the master clock that is used at the school. It's also from this area that the off-the-air and the closed-circuit TV will be produced. Another one of the production rooms that are part of the center. Now we're moving out of the AV center, looking across the library to one of the self-contained classrooms. We'll move through this particular classroom because it has a special treatment. It is tiered, but it will accommodate about 30 to 40 students rather than the 90 to 100 that are in the lecture areas. We'll take a look at the nerve center that is in each of the classrooms. In addition to the clock, which is pretty standard, we have the communication center with the office, the telephone, which communicates with the AV and library production center, the call button to the office, the control of the lights in the room, and the provision for television, both off the air and closed circuit. The wires will connect with the audio loop that is found in most of the areas of the school. We're leaving this classroom and we'll move to our left to the northwest exit of the library. As we go to the area, one of the two fire escapes that is required in the building will be to our right and down. We're looking into that area right now. Then we'll keep going to our right and up the stairs to the second level of the library area. It's the only place in the school except the auditorium where we have two levels. Looking out from the intermediate area into the library, into some of the seeing some of the furniture that has arrived, and then going on up the last few steps into one of the teacher's office. This particular office will become the English office areas. There will be a student or an aide that will make the appointments and so forth for the teaching staff. The teachers' carols are in place. These spaces are necessary for the kind of work that is associated with teaching. We're going to look over the side down the north corridor area. This is the view that the teacher would have. Swing back now to the hallway that brought us into the library and down the east corridor area. In addition to the carols in each of the teachers' offices, we'll eventually have tables for the group planning that's necessary in a team teaching effort. Looking now again to the hallway that brought us in past the Science Resource Center and then up the south corridor area over the lockers. They'll leave the teacher office area, move to our right on the second level into the math classroom complex. These particular classrooms have special treatment for the math teachers. The arrangement is very similar to that we saw when we first came into the library area. Two classroom situations with a resource center between them, divided by the space dividers. We're looking again over the side into the west corridor and now back up into what is the resource area. We can see the library below us, the nerve center, and moving to our right to the stairs that will again take us to the exit from the library and then through the commons areas. We're going past the math teacher's offices now and down the stairs. The openness is always apparent so that there will always be visual contact between students and teachers that are working in this area, so that visual supervision will be possible most of the time. The carpet is required for the sound treatment that's necessary in such an open area. We're moving now to the south corridor area. We'll be looking down really the only hall that we have in the building, moving back toward one of the 4 restrooms that are provided on the parameters of the library complex. We'll be moving into the business education area. Again, it's an open space. We will see the space dividers being assembled. They're not in place. We're looking past the teacher's offices. The bright spots on the floor are the electrical outlets for the typewriters and the various business machines that are a part of a modern business education learning experience. We're looking now into what will become the office practice areas. The storage and the workspaces that are necessary in such an area are present. The typewriters and other furniture will need to be moved into place. The space dividers, of course, will break up the openness. You'll notice that in each of the spaces that we have much openness, but at the same time spaces are provided for small group and really individual conferences. We're looking again into the teachers' offices that are part of this complex. Leaving the business education area, and we'll move left down the hallway and into the shop areas of the Armstrong complex. We're looking across, moving through the woodwork areas, the locker and the nerve center that is a part of every classroom. We'll be looking at the auto mechanics area that will be provided at Armstrong. Presently we have no such program. The stools are stored in what will become the auto mechanics area. You can see the hoist there in the floor. Moving to our left to the metals area, you can see the welding hoods installed and some of the machinery that is necessary in a metals area that is already hooked up. There's more to come, but most of it is there. Swinging again to our left past the central storage that is a part of the industrial arts complex to more lockers and more storage space. We'll swing back now and pick up the tour in the office area and the electronics area of the industrial arts complex. The space dividers will be assembled and put into place for the teacher office areas. Again, the teachers are always in the area where students can get to them and they can be of aid. This will become the electronics area. The outlets are provided, and the outlets in the floor are necessary for the lab tables that will be brought in, not for the current year, but in the near future. This is the drafting area, storage spaces for the drafting, the resource area of the industrial arts complex, books, magazines, and other stored information will be put into place here as the school opens and as resources are available for such a facility. We're looking now into what will become the graphic communications part of the Armstrong School. This following year, this will not be equipped, but hopefully within a short time it can be equipped so that it can be used. This is the classroom area for the industrial arts complex. Again, as I mentioned earlier, each complex, each teaching complex has a facility for every kind of learning experience. The hands-on or the laboratory experience, the individual kinds of experiences, and the small group. We're moving now down the hallway to the school hub, the library, and we'll turn right looking east and past the second, actually the larger of the two lecture areas on our right. We'll take a look at the entrance, but since it's very similar to the one that we've already examined, we won't again go into the area. And then east to the southeast corner of the Armstrong Library Complex. Looking to the third of the commons areas in the school, we will be able to provide seating for 180 students in these commons areas adjacent to the library, and we think it's designed this way so that studying can take place in a relaxed yet comfortable area. This will become the reception area for the school in front of the administrative guidance area. We'll be moving through the student activity area, the CUB, the student council, the yearbook will be produced in this area. We'll also have a girl or secretary to handle the activities associated with athletics and the student council, the yearbook, and so forth. We're moving through the area. On the left will be two of the conference rooms that are a part of the complex, again to provide that kind of activity not only for our students but also for our staff. We will move through one of the two rooms into the administrative guidance complex. Space dividers are being set up. We'll provide office space for the counselors, the administrators, and the psychologist. We're swinging, looking east out of the windows, and we'll swing to our right to the health room. A very fine facility has been provided for the school nurse or the health aide in this complex. We're moving into it now. The desk is to our left. Storage facilities, a sink. Overhead, the cabinets for the first aid supplies that are part of a well-equipped school health office. Back past the outside door to the sink and commode area. The cot that is necessary in this room will be put into place before school opens in September. Looking out again to the area where the secretaries will be working with students. To the right down the reception area. Some of the furniture to the right will be a part of the reception area. Looking into the library from the fourth of the commons. Overhead, the teachers' offices. And we'll be moving to our right into the fine arts area. On the left, the instrumental music room will peek in as we go by, moving into the home ec area. The home ec area is completely carpeted, as is the major portion of the rest of the school. We swing to the right into the foods kitchen area. You can see the utility room back across the various kitchen areas that are provided. We'll be looking across the office or student carrel areas into the clothing area of the home ec complex, moving through it to one of the entrances to the auditorium. There we have the storage that are associated with home ec. Now we see the exits leading to the auditorium. We're looking into the auditorium. Much work is yet to be done, but it's amazing the amount of progress that has been done in this area during the winter months. We're moving from this entrance now into the instrumental music area. It's tiered, carpeted. You can notice the sound treatment above the storage spaces, which is a necessary part of such an area. Moving through the conference office areas of this particular complex. Storage is provided even here. Storage is always very necessary in a music complex. Moving through the second office conference area into the vocal music area. Again, a practice room on the left. Past one of the exits, the area is tiered. We see the storage, and we'll move from the area through the door to our right, and again take a quick look into the auditorium. These are the two entrances that lead from the school itself to the auditorium. The area is rather cluttered, but much work is being done, and within a few weeks we'll really see a rather complete auditorium. We're now looking in the art area. This is one of the two areas in the art complex. It's in this area that the the painting and this type of activity will be carried on. We're looking across some stored doors and so forth into the student resource and office area of the art complex, into the second area of the complex that's in this area where the sculpturing and the glazing will be done, that is very much a part of a modern art program. We're leaving the area through the short hallway and now looking into the library that again is the hub of the school, moving to our right and looking down the corridor that led us into the library. The doorway at the west end is now open. The workmen are working on it. This is the area where the buses will be unloading and will lead into the building from the parking area. We can move through here now and you will again see the area that we covered in our initial shot. I think the very quick tour that we've taken of the Armstrong facility can give you some appreciation of the wonderful facility that we have available to us in this community. The shell is there. The potential to make it come alive as a real learning center rests with the staff and the community and the students.